Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Stormworks. In this episode 2, I was hoping to already be at the emergency which I'm currently tackling, which is rescuing stranded fishermen. At the end of episode 1, was heading over here towards the river, and I managed to make it all the way to about here. And here I found that the fishermen are actually not on the coast, as opposed to what they say. They say that they're on the east coast of the Sawyer Island, but that's not actually true. They are sort of inland. And with that, I couldn't get to them. So I'm going to have to make some changes to this boat. I already made some of them. One of which is that I now have just one rudder instead of two. Because this craft was really happy about flipping itself over. And that is not something that I really wanted from this craft. What I'm also going to do is make it bigger, because I have found that it still wants to tip itself over. So we're going to have to do a little bit of a redesign and make sure that it doesn't do that simply by virtue of being wider and longer. It's not a guarantee that that no longer makes it flip over, but it's usually a good starting point. It also means that my fuel connector, as well as some of the wiring and piping that goes to it, is going to have to get redone. But so be it. I don't mind experimenting with that. This is going to go here. Yeah, like that. This is going to go back. Now this does kind of go against the design that I had in mind, which was a small, sort of narrow craft. Not too much of a draft. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to make it bigger. So it's going to be more of a... I don't know. It's not quite a cutter design. But something that might resemble it, I guess. Another unfortunate result of making the hull bigger, or wider rather, is that you're going to have more water resistance. So it might not be as economic as it originally was. Which is a little unfortunate, but we'll just have to work around that a little. In a previous test, and I did this off camera, I was able to get this craft at a fuel economy so that it could go 150 kilometer range. That should be more than enough to navigate all these new islands. The big question is, will it allow the craft to get to where it needs to go in time? And this is where you run into issues, of course, because do you want to get somewhere really fast? Or do you want to get there in the first place and have enough fuel to get back? So it sort of depends on the emergency and how much time I'm actually given, whether I'm going to be able to get to where I need to be and make it back, or not. And with the craft being quite a bit bigger now, I might just throw on a couple of extra fuel tanks if I find out that it doesn't actually have the range anymore. Then again, all that is just future design stuff. Now, as you can see, the craft is going to get pretty sizable, which means I also have to redo my rudder, because it doesn't need to be over there, it needs to be further back. I'll probably have to redo my keel, but at the very least, it shouldn't tip over anymore. Finish off this part of the hull, and then this sort of lower section. Definitely a lot bigger than what I originally had planned. Alright, props. Props go here. Rudder goes in the middle. Like that. And see if we can make this look at least decent. Oh. Yeah, that pipe is part of the exhaust. Pipe, there we go. Angled pipe. No, I need one more block. And now I can finish it off like that. Go up 1, up 2, and up 3. Like that. Now it's time to add the rudder. Just the one there. Now I also have room to add this little don't get killed by one props plateau. There. So this is the new craft. Quite a bit bigger than the old one. Hopefully still suitable for what I needed to do. Oh, I do need to have the exhausts. Where is that? Here? Yep. So with the boat being wider, I'm going to pipe this off to the side. Stuff like this makes you think, where do usual, actual normal real-life ships leave their exhaust? Because I've seen some of them pump it out the side. I've seen some of them have, of course, if you're building a larger ship, just have these large exhausts. It seems like every ship does this different. Exhausts. And here. Okay. No, not like that. Okay, and then a couple of ladders off here to the side. There. Time to fix the paint job and fix the cockpit. Let's see how my... Yeah, my center of mass is pretty high, as you can see by the blue square over there. So I'm going to have to redo the keel to be here. Just maybe go with a double line. And that lowered it a bit, but not quite as much as I would have liked. That's better. Okay. Once again, paint it black. Plain fill, black, black, this black, that black. Rudder's going to be black. I think I had the lower... Yeah, this section as well. Okay. Paint job almost complete. Then we re-add the lights. And then it's time to head out. Plain fill. These things are yellow. This is all yellow. This one. This. That. This. And the exhausts. Smokestacks. Might as well. There. Now I can also redo the seats. I don't even know how many seats I'm going to need. I might just need 2, since it's a small fisher boat, apparently. I might need 8, I don't know. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go with quite a few of them. Alright, now, controls. A and D goes to the rudder. The main power has to be provided to the rudder. We had the push button relocated. So that is... Oh crap, all my dials are gone. Oh, my bad. The dials are part of the side of the boat. And now they're all missing. That's rather unfortunate. Okay, so we had battery, fuel, engines, yeah. This was RPS left, RPS right. And I know some people really don't like me using RPS instead of RPM, but whatever. This is the way that I do it. If you don't like it, tough. You can do it different on your own craft. Temperature right, temperature left, battery percentage, and fuel. 0, max 750, max 100, minimum 0. Alright, fuel comes from here. The battery... Oh, I must have relocated slash plainly... Oh, crap. That's a hell of a lot more keel than I wanted. I didn't actually think I would put it inside the boat when I was dragging it in. That's a little more than I was bargaining for. Anyway, I need a battery adder. Battery X4, I think. This thing takes all the info from the batteries. 1, 2, 3, 4, and throws it out on here. RPS, temperature, and RPS here, and temperature here. Okay, hook everything up to power. These things, and that one. I have also added a searchlight on the top of the cabin to make sure that I can spot stuff along the riverbed. Because I have found that, well, you kind of need one. It is pretty damn difficult to navigate in these new waters if you don't exactly know what the terrain looks like. So that's why I have one of those things on there. It is connected to the swivel, the push button, and for the cruise mode over here, I have another toggle button. And the cruise mode then switches whether the gearbox is set to a 9 to 5 or a 5 to 2. Normally, it's on 9 to 5, which gives you a lot of speed. But on a 5 to 2, it gives you less speed, but a lot more endurance. That's the plan. Let's see, did I hook up these push buttons again? Oh, no, I deleted the push button. That's how I found out that I needed to fix these things. This one goes here and there. Hooks it up. If I'm going to be sitting down, I want all the indicator panels to come on. And this is release fuel lines. Alright, so this is no longer the 875 rescue boat because it's a lot bigger now. Now my length is 10.75. So this is the 1075 rescue boat. I really need better names. Let's not call it rescue boat. The scimitar. Lights. Let's go back to mirror mode. One light there, and one on the stern. And those were going to be hooked up to the lights button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's all of them. Power supply. 1, 2, 3. And then this one and that one. Paint them correctly. That should do it. So this is the 1075. Spawn it in, see how it floats. Ooh, it's a little heavy. It's a little too heavy. That is something that I will need to fix. I think that is due to this additional weight that I have here. It's all these keel blocks. Or, sorry, the weight blocks. Jeez, it's going to be hard to get in there. This one. And that one. I hope that this is going to fix my non-floating issue. Let's see. Better. But I'm still seeing some water on the deck. Jeez, I can barely make out the keel. Plane fill. If I remove this, is that enough? Yeah, I think that's a little better. Alright, I have a bit of a weird bug going on here. I have loaded the autosave a couple of times because I died or wasn't able to get to where I needed to go, and for some reason, every time you load an autosave, it decides to respawn in a new connector. It is madness. And at this point, I don't even know which connector I need to use. I think it might be this one. Because the others seem to be just hugging it out. So let's hope that it is in fact that one. That would make it easier. But I really hope that they fix this soon. Because otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare to try and find these things again. Come here. Hook up. Hook up. Really? You're going to be like that? Are you going to be like that? There you go. Good man. Alright, let's see if everything works. No. So it is one of the other connectors. This is going to be a nightmare to fix. Because I have no idea which fuel connector I need. At this point, there's one on the bottom. There's one on my boat. That is, if the fuel line is set up correctly. Look at this clusterfuck over here. The game doesn't even seem to consider them as separate items anymore. I think it's not so much the connector, I think... Well, no, this does seem to be connected. Yeah, this is that line that goes through here and then to the engine and the fuel tanks. Yeah, so that works. Okay. Perfect. It is set to pump to hose, so that works. Let's see that I can find this thing before I die. They made this basin so deep that you just don't have enough oxygen to get it. Come here. Okay, let's see if it takes on fuel. Yes, it does. Okay, excellent. Lights on. Let's turn my own light off. We got full fuel. Release the fuel lines. Throttle up. Engine start. Oh dear. Damn it. Now what? Something's wrong with the engines. It's not these, because my intake ports are still there, so it must be the exhaust. It must be this. Oh, damn it. Alright. Also save, load that up. At some point, I will get this fucking mission done. Pardon my French. But I'm getting a little frustrated with constantly having to save, reload, and figure out what is going on with this craft, why it doesn't work. And to figure out which fuel hose I want to use today. Because the amount of options is getting a little out of hand. So, tell me about these connectors. Nope, that should be working. The engines do want to start, or at least they want to power up. So it's not that. What could it be then? They got power. I think that it might be the exhaust. That's the only thing that would make sense at the moment. That somewhere I messed up with the exhaust, but I think it should be working because it's a straight pipe, then an exhaust, and the pipe just goes here. See, it's all connected. It goes back, it goes here. Aha. That's the problem. There was one bit that was not connected. There. Okay. Take your pick of fuel connectors. Apparently, I am constantly losing out on fuel because I already burned 1600 liters on something. Holy shit. I'm not actually connected, but all these fuel hoses are sort of losing fuel. Look at that. This bug is worse than I feared. Because it basically means that at this point, until they fix that, you cannot really use the limited fuel on this kind of save. Okay, we are taking on fuel. When it's full, I'll have to turn off that pump to hose to make sure I don't accidentally bleed fuel. Oh, I really hate this bug. It's the first time I'm seeing any of it too. I've never seen something like this happen on the previous islands. Release? No. Oh crap. Hold, there's two dials? I think I know what's happening here. I think we have a sort of a phase shift where there are more than one fuel tank. There's more than one fuel tank on here. See, something's happening here. It's like that lid is interacting with another lid. And I can push the button, but it still stays on. So yeah, the game is spawning in multiple of these fuel tanks right on top of each other. This is madness. Alright, I'm gonna have to report that to the devs because this is ridiculous. Anyway, let's see if the scimitar actually wants to power up at this point. Yes, it does. Lights on, clutch on, and we are underway. It took me a little bit of time. More like a lot of time, but we are moving, except we're still hooked up to the connector. Alright, clutch off. Just use the electric motor to reverse. Clutch on. And that killed the engines. Try it again. Okay, so believe it or not, but we are moving. Cruise mode on. Searchlight on. Now, let's make sure I don't accidentally crash this thing into the shore. That'd be lovely. See, now it's really stable. This is much better. Alright, let's do a sort of semi-fuel test. From my current waypoint, we are on cruise mode. I am currently at 745 liters of fuel. Let's see what happens by the time that I am about a click away. RPS is at only 5. Whoa, that's really low. $300 meters out. Damn, this thing is slow. It's because I made it so much wider. It has a lot more water resistance. $740. 500 meters out. So for every 100 meters I use 1 point of fuel. That means that it has a range of 73 kilometers left. It's a bit of quick math, but I think it should work. Okay, I'm going to pause the recording here and I will be back with you guys when I, at some point, make it towards my objective. Alright, welcome back. We've progressed quite a bit. Currently, the range is only about 4 clicks. We've sailed all the way through the night, and we still have 20 minutes to get to where we need to be. I have used quite a bit of fuel. I'm at 664, starting 750, so we used about 90 points of fuel. I use about 100 points of fuel per kilometer that I travel. Sorry, 10 points of fuel per kilometer that I travel, which is not a bad fuel economy. And I've achieved this by using one gearbox set to a 5:2 ratio. I can still switch to the cruise mode, or to the full speed mode, by turning the cruise mode off. And then I get a speed, well, not really a speed that I can tell you because I don't have a speed sensor yet, but I get a lot more performance out of these engines. Now as you can see, we're heading into some really narrow waters. And this is why I am quite happy that it is in fact morning. This is not a terrain that I would want to navigate at night. It is, however, quite a bit of motivation to make sure that I get night vision sensors pretty early. That is under displays, advanced displays, video equipment. So yes, it is quite a ways off, unfortunately. Because this is 2 research points, then 6, so that's a total of 8. And then a total of 30, so 38 research points. I don't know how many research points we're going to get for this mission. But look at this canal, this is really nice. Trees on the side, it seems like we have a little bit of fog. Now, just to give an illustration, this is what happens when I take it off of cruise mode. RPS punches up to about 10, 10.5, that's about as high as it goes, especially in a straight line. Fuel definitely goes faster down. Oh, crap! Yikes. Don't demonstrate what your boat can do and drive at the same time. Fortunately, this thing has a pretty thick hull, and none of the systems on the ship were actually damaged because the impact... Don't do it again, stealth. Because the impact wasn't that bad. Okay, so we're going to have to be doing a little bit more navigation here. I think I need something faster than this. Let's call it a speedboat, for lack of a better term. Because this, while it does do what it needs to do, feels slow. And then again, helicopters could come in very handy here, but keep in mind that with all these trees, you might not really have a good LZ for your helicopter. So that is something you're going to have to keep into account. Can you fly the helicopter, and moreover, can you put it down somewhere? Or can you lower somebody from the helicopter? In which case you might need a crew, so you're gonna have to invite a buddy to play this game with you. I really like this new terrain. The way that you do these small, narrow passes, it makes for some really interesting challenges. It also has a bit more sightseeing than just going on straight sea cruises and just heading straight from, let's say, a base to a oil island, so a drill rig. and back. This gives a bit more character. If only the weather was a little better, we might actually be able to see something. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we just have to bring these people to here. That's a very short hop. But since they are fishermen, I think this is where they might want to go. So my plan is to just head over, see what they need. Potentially just take the boat and transport them there. And then, once they're there, sail all the way back to the main base. That's hopefully where they need to go. I don't know exactly. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, electric engine does work. And so do the generators. I could also see this terrain being used for speedboat racing. Building really, really fast craft and seeing who has the fastest one. Who can get to, for example, this place first. And then who still has enough fuel to get back. Because that is, especially if you're playing with limited fuel, definitely a concern. Don't be burning too much fuel. Now, what was the story about these guys? Young fisher people. They managed to beach themselves. I wonder how big that craft's going to be. It might be a little smaller than this one. Unless they have used the standard fishing boat that you normally see in the standard missions, where you need to evac one of the fishermen because they have a medical emergency. Sorry, fisher people. Still think it's a really weird phrase, but okay, fisher people. Gotta keep it gender neutral, I guess. Ooh, it's getting shallow. It's getting pretty shallow here. Definitely not something you would be traversing with a large craft. Definitely not where you want to be. Alright, let's slow it down a little. 285 meters. So what do we have here? Holy crap, how did you get that in here? That looked like a seagoing fishing trawler. Please don't tell me that you want me to get that ship off its current position. Oh shit, I ran aground. Ooh. Come on. No wonder they ran aground. Stop the ship. Damn, you really need a shallow craft. Okay, people, tell me what you want me to do. Take them home. Home being, yep, exactly where I thought it would be, at the fishing village. The HMS Deltars from Port Jersey. I think that could be reference to Mr. N. Jersey. Oh, crap. Is there a way to get out from here? Oh. Oh, yeah, that would do it, I guess. That would explain why exactly they beached. And that's the damage, apparently. Alright, people. Follow me. You fisher people. You, come along with me. Sit. 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 Alright. So now we need to head slightly over to the right. Just drop them off there. Damn, it's so foggy that you can barely make out where you need to be. And this is going to be a very narrow pass. And moreover, it could be very shallow. It's right in front of me, right? Yes. Okay. So, note to self, if you are building a craft like this, make sure it is shallow. You cannot have a draft as much as this. Oh shit. Oh shit. We're gonna run aground. Maybe momentum can carry us forward. And maybe not. No! Props are going absolutely mental. Yeah, we beached. Now, this is not a particularly heavy boat. So, bit of muscle work. One thing I've learned the hard way, if you're doing something like this, turn off the engines. Turn off the props. You don't want to run into your own props and die. Like that. Is this the last of the shallows? I think it might be. Push! It's not like these fishermen are gonna come out and help. Okay. I think we're good. Damn, that is shallow. Let's use the electric motors to get out of here. Okay. Turn the engine back on. Okay, we seem to be good. Let's go to cruise mode. I won't need all that speed here. Okay, this is a bit deeper. The light blue is your enemy. I might need to fix this as well. This is another place where I think I could be beaching. Throttle to full. So 2 things are important. Or actually 3 things for this new terrain. 1, make sure you have endurance. 2, make sure you don't have too much draft. And 3, make sure you can see where you're going. A sensor, like a distance sensor on the bottom of the boat, and then a warning system that says, hey, it is getting really damn shallow over here, could be vital. Because this is a pretty light craft. I can still push this thing off of a sandbank. But that does not necessarily have to work out every time. And I am like 3 blocks deep at the moment. And apparently on some parts, that is already too much. You cannot do 3 blocks. It's just not good enough. So you need to be even shallower, which would require a different design of your boat. Maybe a catamaran or even a trimaran. Something that has much less of the hull in the water. And we for fuel. Feels good. I don't really trust this part. So let's slow it down. And just take these guys on foot for the remainder of the way. Because I don't want to get stuck here. And it is only 750 meters. I have walked greater distances than that. Okay, people. Everybody with me. You managed to fuck your ship up, so now you're gonna have to do a little bit of running or swimming or both. Again, I really like the new terrain, but this is something that requires a different design. Oh wow, I failed to retrieve an anchor. Oh well. Alright, fast forward a little bit. I seem to have arrived at the fishing village, or... Yeah, this is the fishing village, but it's apparently not quite where they need to be. They need to be dropped off at what I think is the hangar, or the base for the Stormworks people. There's even a road up here. We're still playing a little hide and seek with 2 of them chasing me and 1 over my shoulder. Now this fishing village is something you can buy. This is classed as a base. This is where the pier is. And considering it's on the other side, I think it might be very valuable to just try and get this one. Because it's also a bunch of fuel. Okay. That got me 10,000 in cash. Why are you half health? 10,000 in cash, 6 research points, and a bit of velocity pivots. Okay, so where could I buy this? Normally, purchase island. Yeah, okay. Purchase island to use door. Where is the island buy thing? Might be here. It's another 600 meters. Okay. Guess I can skip my cardio workout for the morning. Look at this fog, though. I'm not sure whether it's pretty or terrifying. Now, a design challenge for this would be to make a boat that's shallow, but considering the way that that ship was parked, I think a helicopter could have done this mission, well, twice at this point. It could probably have already gone back and forth, picked up the people, sent them back, everything that you needed to do, but just a whole lot faster. So I would want something like an airport. Because much as I like boats, it is just not cost and time efficient. Because I also think that a helicopter could do this with less fuel usage. I only needed to transport 3 people. That's a really simple mission. Ah, there's the sign. Let's see. 20k, 30k. 50k? Okay, that seems a bit steep for just this pier. But I guess if that's what you want for it. I don't have anywhere near that. I got 16.5. So I'm going to need a lot more. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the episode here. Next time you see me in episode 3, I'm going to have this boat all the way back here. I won't bother you with navigating these shallows again. And we're going to see what other missions pop up. So we'll catch you guys next time on Stormworks. And if you like it, don't forget to support me on Patreon. Link down below in the description. See you guys next episode.